Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday, November 18th, 2021. This is the SOS show with James Lott Jr. and I am James Lott Jr., super organizer. We've been off for a little bit, but we are back and with some new episodes. During the holiday season, as many of you guys know, I've been doing the show for 6 years. I take time off during the holidays, take care of holiday things, be with family. I was marrying somebody last week, and so I didn't get a chance to do that, officiate the ceremony. That was very nice. And celebrate my daughter's 34th birthday. So I had to do all that. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. I know I look like I'm 35 and it's crazy. But I am here.
You age well, James.
I like to do lots of water and I take care of my skin, and we all know black don't crack. So anyway, that's how that works. I'm actually 800 years old. No. And I have a guest, as you hear her speaking. I have a guest. She is the owner and professional organizer of Passion Organizing. She's also a board member of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers. Yes, there are Black professional organizers, as you know. I have a few on the show. And I'm happy to have her on the show, Lexi Ford. Hi, Lexi.
Hi, James.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, what I always do, I've been doing this for almost 400 shows. I do my thanks and gratitude. So I want to do my thanks and gratitude to two people. I can do math. Two people. And one of them is Flo Boyce. He is one of my collaborators, my best friends. We just did a photo shoot this morning for an upcoming project. I just support young Black men who are out there working very hard. Check out his work anywhere at flobito.com. That's flobito.com. He's a wedding DJ. He's a podcast host. He's an announcer. He does a lot of stuff, but he's a young Black man out there trying to make things happen in an honest way. So I think it's very important. We need to showcase people like that who are doing that and making change happen in the world. We need to. And so I want to give a shout out to him because it's very important to lift each other up also, something I believe in. And also on a sad note, I want to give a thanks and gratitude to my friend Christopher Diem, who passed away suddenly from a heart attack. At the age of 48 years old, 2 weeks ago, I was devastated, am devastated from it. Really good friend, known him for 20 years. But the person who was super nice, super sweet, super supportive. Again, you hear my theme, it's about being supportive. Yes. I believe in the village. And so the village is something very important, and I will miss him forever, but we will be reunited one day, of course, because I believe in heaven. So we will be reunited there. So I'm going to celebrate him. Rest in paradise, as they say, to Christopher. When I say that, do you have any thanks and gratitude you want to give somebody? Give you a chance, Lexi. Do you have thanks and gratitude for anybody?
Well, I definitely would like to give thanks and gratitude to my family, to my mother who helps me on a daily basis when it comes to running this business, from cleaning to organizing. I also want to give thanks to my children for also being here for me, working with me and supporting me. I would love to also give thanks to Naima Ford Goldson and Carolyn Rogers. They are both really good friends of mine, and they're also board members of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers. They have helped me to learn more, not just about the business as a whole, but about being a part of a team, a part of a community amongst other individuals that are like myself. So now if I have questions, I know that I have someone to go to and ask those questions. I have someone to lean on. So I'm definitely very grateful for them. And I also want to give thanks to my grandmother, who also recently passed away on Halloween, because without my grandmother, I don't think that I would have been born into such a strong family. And I have to be thankful for that, because running a business is hard work. And it definitely takes a strong person. So
well, I think Black women are super strong to do anything they want, because that's how you guys are built. So I support my Black women. I support you and your grandmother. I love my grandmothers. I don't have any left either. My grandmothers are all gone. I miss them all. They were all so strong and funny and wisdom just spreading out their pores.
I just wish I had 30% of them in me. Woo. You know, right. I have some, but not as much.
yeah. Well, they came from a different time, so they have. Oh. I mean, I look at them. My one grandmother, she came from Louisiana. 5 boys.
Wow.
Single mom of 5 boys, all stair steps basically. Came to California, Louisiana, lived in Nickerson Gardens, which is a rough area here in Watts, and worked 3 jobs and raised them. And it's just like and then later when they all got growed, all grown up. She was like swimming, playing tennis, running track. And that was my grandmother. I mean, I remember being a kid looking at my grandmother in tracksuits, doing all this stuff and still working, working jobs that she was a maid, she was a janitor, doing jobs. She was like, I don't want you guys doing these jobs. I'll do
Hmm.
them now so you don't have to do them later. And it
That's
was like,
right.
and all my uncles are very successful. They're all successful. So I mean, she did something right. So I just think I think of our black women. We have to hold them in a higher esteem and
I
regard.
agree.
We
But
do.
I find something funny and a coincidence is that my family is from Los Angeles as well, from Watts as
Oh,
well.
oh, really? Oh my goodness! I didn't know that. See, folks, I did not know
Yes.
that. I did not know that.
We've been all over Los Angeles, Lower Baldwin Hills.
Yes.
Yes. So
Oh my
that's
God.
and whenever someone asks me where's home, that's home. That will always be home for me. Both of my children were born. My whole family on my mom's side was born in California.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see that in any of your stuff. Okay, so I live in Inglewood.
Oh,
I live in the border of Inglewood and View Park. View Park's like right, and my grandmother was on Bryanhurst at 57. I can say that now; it's not anymore. But on Bryanhurst 57, like literally, you're speaking my language. Baldwin Hills, Windsor Hills, View Park,
yes.
Ladera.
Crenshaw and King.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, that's so
Mhm.
good. Let me, a little side note, folks. Little side. I would tell her a little side note right now. I don't know what you know, but they're gentrifying everything over here.
Yes,
They're
I was
basically
just
carrying.
there not too long
Oh, so
ago.
you were there? Okay, so you know.
The jungles looks completely different. Completely different. I mean, you know, again, my kids were born there. I raised them there,
Yeah.
and I came back and I went to try to show my son, this is where you came from.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
not where
didn't
you came
recognize.
from, and geographically, it's where you came from, not where you came from. Girl, no, not at all. And it's funny because I saw the jungle today. I had a photo shoot this morning. The guy was like, "The jungle," and I was like, "Yes, I know. We all know it's completely." And that Baldwin Crenshaw shopping thing is we totally changed in a second.
Totally different. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so you're from Los Angeles or from California, right? And from
Yes.
Los Angeles, and now you're in Georgia, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. But there was a stop in Dayton at some point too, right? Also.
Yes. So I became my grandmother's legal guardian.
Right.
They moved my grandmother to Ohio after she had a stroke, and I became her legal guardian. And it kind of positioned me to have to stay there, to be there for my grandmother and my family for a period of time. And then my daughter was awarded a 4-year scholarship to a private university in Ohio. And so it just made it to where we had to kind of stay there for a long period of time. But once all that was over, honey, I was ready to go. I said, I am not used to this small country town.
But very
I
different.
need some more cityness in my life, you know?
No, I've been to Dayton many times. I flew to Dayton. I have family in Greenville, which is not far from
Oh,
Dayton. I know
yeah.
in Dark County, ironically named Dark County, but yes.
And you know what? That is exactly what it is. I actually had a store that I managed out there. So I would have to go out there every now and again to check on the staff.
Yeah, there's Troy, Versailles, Greenville, and all that. It's all. Oh, I know the area very well. I used to fly to Dayton Airport, which is
So you're familiar with Trotwood.
yes. Okay, I know that. Yes, I know
So,
that.
yeah, so I actually lived in Trotwood. I had a house in Trotwood, and then I also had a rental in Centerville.
Oh, it's okay. I know where all that is. I do.
Yeah.
I do. That's why we circle each other. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, now I need to go back to. I go back to you. Have I just joined because I have grandkids. I've grown kids again, but you have grown children.
I do. I have a 18-year-old son, and my daughter will be 25
I
next
would
month.
not guess that, girl. I'm sorry, I would not guess that. No, nope.
Well,
Would not
as
guess
we
that.
stated in the beginning,
Yes.
black don't crack.
I'm telling you, I would seriously. When you say I'm thinking kids like teenager, maybe younger than that. I not okay.
And then it doesn't help the fact that my daughter, she's taller than me
She is.
and she's thicker than me. And so usually when we're together, they think we're sisters. And then when we say we're mother and daughter, they think she's the mom. She doesn't like that at
I
all.
know she
And
don't.
so, yeah, but all they're saying is that she looks more mature,
Oh, yeah, she like that.
but beautiful. She's my twin.
I love it. I love it. Very good. So then where did passion organizing start? What city? I've been doing about 5, 6 years. Like, well, where did it start?
So passion organizing actually started in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And my daughter went to the University of Findlay, that was about an hour and a half away. And so my daughter is my best friend. And so I did not like being away from my daughter. So I went and got a rental in Findlay.
Okay,
And I
empty nester.
actually,
Empty nester.
you know what? I'm about to be. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm about to be. But
Oh,
yeah, so I wanted to be closer to my daughter. And so I ended up also seeing that there was more of a need for my services in Findlay, Ohio, because it was a smaller town that didn't really know or understand what a professional organizer was, that you can actually pay for someone to come into your home and organize all of your items. And so I basically traveled, and that's what got me into nationwide organizing, because I ended up traveling frequently on like a weekly basis between Dayton and Findlay and even in Michigan.
okay.
And so, yes, I started that about 5 years ago. And once we decided to move to Georgia, it was over. And so I've been traveling back and forth to still Ohio and Michigan to service the clients there. But unfortunately, my mom's twin passed away in September. And so I went there and moved my mother and my grandmother to Georgia, and we kind of canceled down the business
Oh,
in the Ohio market. So people can still contact me if they have larger jobs, but otherwise I kind of refer people out. But now I'm fully functional in Georgia.
any differences between Ohio, where you were in Ohio, and where you are in Georgia, in terms of clientele and services?
It's a big difference. It's a huge difference, shall I say. In Ohio, it seemed like I had more, um, I want to say kind of, my clients were a little bit more country.
Okay.
And
Oh, okay.
I noticed that
Yes.
the aesthetics
Okay.
was a lot different.
Yeah.
And so I've definitely had to change the way that I view things here, the products that I use, and the way that I go about organizing. Because I mean, from the kitchen cabinets to the way that the closets are designed and everything, it is completely different.
Yeah.
The decor that people have, it's completely different. So you have to be able to pay attention to the aesthetics of their home, what they like, to be able to figure out what they need. And so that's been the biggest change. And then also the homes here are a lot
Bigger, I think.
bigger,
Yeah.
a lot bigger. So whereas in Ohio, I could get through, you know, multiple rooms in a day.
Yeah.
Here, it might take me a day to get through a room
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because it
Yeah.
may be that large and have that many, items in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I noticed that I've organized in different states also. I did back in the day. I did some organizing in Missouri and in Kansas. I had a family, so I would organize while I was there. And in Pittsburgh, when I was in Pittsburgh. And you're right, there are it's the house stuff. It's like the houses are different.
Hmm.
The situations are slightly different.
Yes.
Setups are a little different when you go to different states. Like, oh, they do this here, or they over here they have this. And in LA, it's just it's spread out and all
Yes.
kinds of people. And I work with celebrities, non-celebrities. It's a big difference. But some of these other towns or cities, it's like very concentrated, and or they have certain customs, certain things
Yes.
that kind of like you kind of follow. What would you say right now? Your clientele. What makes up your clientele right now?
You know what? It's all over the place. I mean, for instance, today I had someone that you would consider middle class.
Okay.
Um, but the day before, I had someone in a $2 million home. And a couple days before that, I had someone that was probably in a $300,000 home. So on a given week, I have, you know, lower class, middle class, and upper class. And I really don't, I think I need to think of different words because I don't even want to really call people by their class. I want to say the lower income,
Yeah. There you
the
go. There
middle
you
income, and
go.
the higher income.
Yeah.
So everyone needs organizing
They
services.
do.
I
They do.
don't care how much you make, everybody can use an organizer.
I agree.
Now, can everybody afford an organizer? Not always,
Right.
unless you find that right organizer that provides payment plans and things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I say it's one of the few professions where anyone from age 2 to 102, I'm being funny, of course, but 2 to 102 can use our services in some form.
Yes.
We are our industry. So folks who are watching this who are not organized may not know this or watching the first time. Organize professional organizing and productivity. It's actually way broader than just organizing clothes. There's
Yes.
there's a lot of different types of services within this.
Yes.
So just know that, folks out there. If you have an idea about something you may need organized, or chances are someone can do it for you.
I have organized papers, clothes, kitchens, bathrooms. I have organized a bead store, a carpet store, no matter what it is, antiques, collectibles. I mean, anything that you can think of, tools. People need organizers
They
for
do.
them.
They do. I'll tell you something. I've done some inventory, which is also kind of part of as part of organizing too,
Hmm.
for places, for music places, and all kind. And I did get a lamp place once. So like you're right, it's just this weird kind of. It could go broad.
Very.
It's our services, our expertise is needed in
Yes.
places.
And
So
that's why they also say there's no job too big or too
yeah,
small, because organizing is definitely a process, and it's not a process that everybody knows. It's not something that people can just easily take a class on and get. A lot of times it's something that we're born with, it's something that we do naturally, but there takes a certain thought process to be able to learn and know how to really do it. Because my mom would tell you all the time, I call her my clean freak because she could see a crumb on a clean marble counter, okay? But when it comes to organizing, she needs some step-by-step directions because she says, I'm a cleaner. I am not an organizer
I'm
because
glad you
it's the
said that.
difference.
I'm glad. Okay, so folks out there, she's leading to something. I'm going to tell you guys this. Because a lot of clients have, I've come, I've gone to many clients that afterwards are like, James, I'm like, I know. So what Lexi is saying is so true. There are cleaning people who clean very well. They don't know how to organize.
Mm-mm.
So don't you can't always expect them to do both. They know how to clean. They can clean the
Yep.
S out of a house. They can clean. They make it spotless, everything.
Mhm.
But then you go, why did you just throw this stuff over here? And like they don't know.
Mhm.
They're a lot of times they're about tidy and neat and clean,
Yes,
not organized. So they don't know how maybe to fold towels a certain way that would be the best use for
exactly.
you. Organizers come in, and not organizers are good cleaners either. So to come
Right.
first. But
Correct.
we come in, so I always recommend people have both. If you can, have both. And I have clients who do have both. But they have a house cleaner, comes in once a week, does the do, and I come in afterwards and do all the organizing. So they'll do all
Yes.
the laundry. I come in and put it away. Like I have a few that are like that. So we work in tandem together, kind of. Like they'll do the
Yes.
grocery shopping. I'll help organize the refrigerator or make sure that everything's clean. You know, like there's ways to do that. I said I recommend if you can do that, or yourself you clean, and then I come in, I'll organize. So I'm glad you
Yes.
said that. I'm so glad it's just one of those things. I mean, it's not saying someone can't learn how to organize, but like you're saying, some people they're really good at the cleaning process, making sure everything
Exactly.
sparkles. Organizing is a puzzle. Go ahead.
I always say it's like Tetris. Organizing is like playing Tetris.
Yep,
Sometimes you may need to move something around a couple of times just to get it to fit right.
I agree.
But I also want to add to the difference between cleaning and organizing, because I state this to many clients all the time too, that they don't realize that when cleaners come in, they don't realize the process in which the cleaners go by. They do automatically assume that a cleaner is going to organize their possessions, and they don't realize that the cleaner is coming in there with a certain amount of time, usually about between 2 to 4 hours to
Right.
clean your space. There's only so much that one person can do within a certain amount of time. So cleaners are going to dust your blinds, vacuum your floors, wipe your counters, clean your tubs, your toilets, and your showers. but they are not going to put your dishes away. They're not going to put your toys away. They're not going to do any of those things because that is getting into the process of organizing. So cleaning is using chemicals, towels, brooms, and vacuums. Organizing is the process of moving all of your belongings to the place in which they belong and the place in which they should be housed.
She said it. Where's my? Oh my God, here it is. Get the bell for that one. So I have a bell, so I get the bell for that. You get the bell for that one. That's true. You know, it's literally that's what's true. It's true. And again, no diss to anybody. There's no shade to anybody. It's completely just that's just how. Because I have people tell me, but they didn't. They just threw everything in the box. I'm like,
Yes.
well, they cleaned your house, right?
Yes.
Yes. It's
And
clean.
so I tell people because I am, a part of so many different networks.
Yeah.
And I have like a cleaner, she's a business owner. She calls me and she tells me about certain things and she asks me how should she handle situations. And so I ask her, I'm like, well, did you give them a checklist of what it is that you were going to be providing? If
Mm,
you didn't tell them what you were going to be doing, how do you expect them to know?
mhm.
And so it's the same thing, when it comes to, the clients aren't aware. So they're thinking you're going to come in and you're going to pick up all of their stuff.
Mhm.
You, I'm going to pick up all of I'm going to clean up all your stuff, but I'm not going to put away all your stuff. So should you tidy before the cleaner comes? Answer is yes. Put your dishes away, put the toys away, clean off your surfaces and your floors of the items, and then let the cleaners come in and clean the surfaces.
That's mainly what they do. They're mainly there to clean the surfaces. They're mainly they said floors, pieces of furniture, tabletops, countertops, that kind of stuff. They're
Yes,
not here to sort out which toys go in what toy box. That's not their job.
yes,
I mean, if you make that their job, then you got to pay them. You should be paying them extra with all that.
yes.
That's a separate job. Separate job. Why organizing for you? And we all come to it because we didn't wake up, weren't raised with organizing. Nowadays, I guess younger people can be raised with it, but us, we weren't raised with it. So why organizing for you?
Well, funny thing is, you are absolutely correct. So when I was younger, I was not the way that I am now. Now, I do come from a very clean family. I mean, my mother, like I said, she's a clean freak. My father, may he rest in peace. My father was very clean, very meticulous.
Um,
My great grandmother, I mean, she was the quality control inspector when Armstrong walked on the moon
okay.
and part of the NAACP. So she was very
Oh yeah.
meticulous and,
Oh yeah.
on point about everything.
I'm sure.
Um, so my whole family was like that. But as I was growing up, I wasn't. My mom used to always come and tell me to clean up my room. And it's like, but it's my room. So I'll tell you what happened.
Right.
I had my daughter. I was so afraid that my daughter was going to choke on a bead or something, get into something that she wasn't supposed to get into,
Right.
that it was a point for me to make sure that everything was up and everything was in its place.
Yeah.
And so that started me with cleaning. But as time went on, I realized that I was always organizing. And that was where I found my happiness. Organizing for me is very therapeutic.
Yeah.
I get lost in what I do, and I don't care what's going on in the world. You get me to organizing, and you
Same
know
here.
what? My
Same here.
mind is gone,
Same
you
here.
know.
Yeah, I love it.
Um, and then people that I knew, I was working in corporate, and people would walk past my desk and they would see my organized desk and my organized files and see how I, created my emails and things like that. And they're like, wow, you're organized. Like, you need to come, and organize my place. And before you knew it, I started doing little jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
And voila, now you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a professional organizer. The thing that drove people crazy about me
Yeah.
is the very thing that I've been able to use to make a career out of.
I love it. Okay, next thing you are a board member of the National
I-
Association of Black Professional Organizers, NAPRO. How did you find them?
So funny thing is, I was on Facebook and I joined all these organizing groups because in Ohio there definitely was not a lot of organizers that I was familiar with, but there definitely was not any organizers of color. And so I really enjoy looking at pictures and reading anything about
Yeah.
organizing. And so I joined all these groups and I came into contact with Naima Ford Goldson. And we thought that it was, funny because my maiden name is Ford, her maiden name is Ford.
That's right.
Our families are from the same area. So it's like, are we related? We don't actually
Oh,
know,
how funny. That's
you
right.
know,
She's like,
but it's like, it's a coincidence. And then we get along so well. And so Naeem spoke to me about NABPO is what we call it. And I was like, you know what, this sounds like a great organization that I would like to be a part of. It's a bunch of, women of color that do what I do. And so I joined it and it's been history since then.
yeah, Miss Ford Goldson's been a member of the show. She's been on the show, so she's been on here. We love her.
I'm
I
gonna
haven't
have
had
to get
Carolyn
my
Rogers yet. You
her.
mentioned Carolyn Rogers. I haven't had her on my show yet,
Oh,
but I
you
have.
have to.
I need to have her on the show. She's on the list, but I had whatever. Yeah, name was on the show. So you guys can look at that episode. She was on here.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go
Um,
look for that.
yeah, she's on there. Because for me, again, I was okay. So what were you part of the professional organizers think tank?
Yeah, and I still am.
So you still also so you still are.
I am.
Let me ask you a question, girl. Were you there when I did that presentation on Facebook last year on race?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I could have been, but I may not have seen it due to my schedule.
Okay, so I
You
was
know
just
what? I
curious.
have great work-life balance when it comes to my clients, but
Yeah,
when it comes to my own stuff, I don't.
yeah. So I was my whole point kind of was I was part of a bunch of groups too. I started, and that's a huge group. It's the
Mhm.
largest. It's larger than even NAPO. The other one is even larger than that. It's a large group. But I was part of that group too because that was a lot of organizers. And again, I was trying to find Black organizers, and there were a
Mhm.
few on there. There were a few. So I just want to. I may have saw you, never knew. I mean, because people that one's very active. Well,
Yeah.
I left it about 6 months ago, but it was very active. I remember that. So I was just curious.
Honestly, that's usually my go-to because of exactly what you just said.
You know,
Because
right.
there's so many organizers on there and it's so much information. I feel like whenever I need to know something, I'm able to go and search it in there and find exactly what I'm looking for.
And Lisa, who's the leader of that, is in Cincinnati, in Ohio. So
Yes,
she's in Cincinnati. So yeah, it's okay. So it's,
Westchester, I
yes,
believe.
she's been on this show the most, I think 6 times over the years. So one of those things. So yeah, over the years. Um, okay, so yeah, so I was looking for Black folks, and after last year, the Black Lives Matter, and I was doing all these talks and stuff. And actually, I was being yelled at by various folks and called names
Oh,
and things. Oh yeah, it was horrible. But I work in Hollywood, and I have a whole other life as a podcaster and everything. So I'm used to people calling me names or whatever. It's fine, whatever. But my thing was that's what led me to other Black organizers because folks would say, James, I saw your talk. We have this. We have Black Girls Who Organize. Or we have this. So we have like Black people. There are more Black people. Like what? I had no idea because
yeah.
I know of. Here in LA we have Tanisha Lyons Porter and we have Robin Reynolds, who of course also a
Yes.
member. And those are my girls, my girls. So those are two. I knew about those two here in LA. Oh no, I'm like, where? And then I eventually started meeting other Black folks. And
Yeah, because I believe we have, last time I checked, 102 members
yeah,
all
that's
over the
good.
US.
Yes.
And the funny thing about it is that's still only a fraction of the Black organizers or the organizers of color
Yes.
that are out here. Because I actually had an assistant work with me on Monday. And she's a Black organizer, just started her business recently, and she's not a member of NAPO. So, of course, I told her about NAPO, but it just made me think that how many other people of color out there are organizers and they're not members. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah,
They
look at
coming.
them. They're coming. And the thing is, I try to tell people there's a sense of community, of course.
Mhm.
There are some things, and every culture has this. We have some things, we may be from all parts of the country, but there's some things that are just unspoken
Yes.
that that just serve that serve us in a certain way. Also, I found last year when I was doing these talks that we have a lot more in common business wise than our non-white, than our non-people of color, non-black counterparts. Going from do I put my face on the front of my cards to what happens when I show up. You know, black women. You know, I have many other. I met one black male organizer in Georgia through email once, and we have not connected. This was years
Yeah.
ago. So I know many other. I mean, it's not the men in the business. It's like we're 5% compared to the rest. It's mostly women. But black men, I don't even know any other black men or like organizers. So, but I noticed that we still black men and women have this thing in common. So, are you finding when you joined NABPO, you found community, family,
Yes.
just all that? So,
Yes. You know, because it's a difference. It's definitely a difference. I mean, I won't say any names, but I have um
yes, girl, the shade's real. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's just yes.
I have a really good friend
Okay.
that doesn't have any color in her body.
Okay.
She charges the same exact rate as me. She often refers clients to me. And the funny thing is that it seems like once they come over to me and I tell them what my rates are, it's like I'm too high. And it's like, but wait, you just came from a person that charges the same exact rate as me. And if you go and look at her work and my work, it's identical. What's the problem?
We know.
You know, and I mean, I'll just be honest. When it comes to my assistant, her and I are really good friends. I've known her a very, very long time. And I told her I wanted her to be the voice of passion organizing. When clients call on the phone, I want you to be the one to answer the phone because she's, you know, she's a Caucasian woman. She
Yes.
has that
Yes, I
Caucasian
know.
voice. And you know what? You can tell them about the consultation fee. You could tell them about the hourly rate. You could tell them everything that's need to be known, and they're not going to question you. They're not going to say, oh, that's too much, or oh, why are you charging that? And you know what? She's been doing it. Great job, no problems. She's on bereavement. Now I'm back, the voice. And you know what? Today alone, I had two people. Two. Are like, oh, well, you know what? I don't really want to pay this, or oh, that's too much. It's a difference.
She's correct, folks out there. I'll tell you. So for me, I been called I talk white, which is the dumbest thing you ever heard in your life. I just talk very proper, I guess. And when it comes to business, you should, or whatever.
Well, I
Um,
think it's proper. I don't even think it's talk white. I've been
I know.
told that before, but it came down to coming from California. We have an accent that we don't realize that we have,
Yes.
and it's a proper accent.
Yes, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's just this whole dumb thing. I'm just saying we're just getting real right now. I'm saying that's what I've been told now. Because the thing is, James Lott Jr. sounds like no, it's not ethnic at all. My parents did it on
No.
purpose. They did it on purpose. So I wouldn't have any problems. Like wasn't like Akeem or something. I'm like those names are better. No. But as I'm wearing my African stuff, I mean, I was like, I'm black in other ways. No. But they'll talk to you on the phone. They may look at my website, but not look at my face or whatever. Hear my voice, see my name, and when I show up, that's that look like. Hi, nice to meet you. Oh yeah, you thought I was white. Okay, nice to meet
Yes.
you. And I've had that exactly the same thing. Well, I don't know if I can pay that rate. And then later, a colleague, we all talk. A colleague will get that same job, and they said the same rate, no problem.
Yeah. And then
I
you
go,
get the people that feel like they need to lock up their belongings
yes,
and
yes.
things like that.
Oh yeah,
I
oh
think it's
yeah.
funny because I'm like, honey, I have never been in trouble with the law. If you
Neither.
Google me, look, Google me, baby. I'm 5-star rated for a reason, okay? I don't steal nothing from nobody. I don't need to. Do you
Nope.
see how much I make an hour?
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't want
I
your
have a
stuff.
house. I
I
have
don't-
3 cars.
yeah.
I have several bank accounts. I don't need to take anything from anyone, but that is just one of those things that you cannot control.
You can't. And so, yeah, so I saw anybody Black who's watching this that's in business. I know it's hard because you want the money, but stick to your guns. I think the message that Lexi and I are telling you guys, to stick to your guns. If when you undervalue yourself, when you undercut yourself,
Mhm.
it makes you look bad, of course, but also hurts all of us.
All
Because
of us.
I'm sorry, I'm saying it just every other Black organizer, it does a ripple effect because they'll think, oh well, I can negotiate, I can just make them go down. No, that's stay with your price. I know it's hard. Trust me. I want to say, I know it's hard because you're thinking, I'm just starting out and I want the money. But literally, not all money is good money. Like as my grandmother would always say,
Yes.
and you will find clients who will pay your rate.
Exactly. Because I will say I moved to Georgia in June. I was scared to death. I was like, I have no clients. I don't know anybody. I don't have a job. What am I going to do? I mean, the cost of living out here is double of what I had to
Oh
pay in
yeah.
Ohio. And I was scared to death. But let me tell you, so I moved here in June. September, I made $9,000 that month all by myself. By December, I had a team of 9. Okay. Not knowing anyone. And you know
Yeah.
what? My rates went from $40 an hour to $60 an hour, now to $75 an hour. And you know what? I have gained an understanding and I now know my worth. Now, I will say that sometimes I allow people's personal stories
Oh well, yeah.
to get me to tweak my rates,
Yeah, no, I've done it before
because
too.
it's my passion and I love helping people. I want to be there for people.
Me too.
But know your worth. Charge what you charge and you will get your ideal client. My home that I was just at, my $2 million home, you know what? I loved it because this was a Black man. Okay. And sometimes, again, we're stereotyped, and you feel like, oh, rich people are, cheap and da, 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 da. It's really based off of the individual. But this was a Black man, or a wealthy Black man. But he, just like he knows his worth, he knew mine. And so, you know what he told me? Just give me an invoice and whatever it is, I'll pay it. I sent him that invoice, honey. He paid that invoice within seconds.
Okay.
I mean, before I had a chance to blink, the invoice was paid. I did some shopping for him. I came to his home and I did the work. But as I'm doing the work, he wants this and that done. Honey, he sent me to the Container Store, honey. I done spent almost $1,000.
Okay.
He did not care and still paid me. And it was 3 of us.
Yeah.
He paid us what we were worth.
Yes.
And from that, more clients come. So stick to your guns.
Yes, stick to your guns. And that's where we'll end the show. I mean, it goes by so fast. I could talk to you all forever. I just have to come back on. But Lexi, thanks for sharing some of your wisdom and some of the things you're going through. And I think you're doing a great job. And I said, you stand out to me. Like I said, I remember her from the thing. I remember her. So yes, so thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell folks, actually, that's your turn. Tell people where they can find Passion Organizing on social media or online. This is your chance to promote.
So I am on Instagram and Facebook as well as Google. We are at Passion Organizing. And if you need to send me a message, you have any questions, you need organizing services in the Atlanta area or nationwide, you can email me at passionorganizing@gmail.com.
That's right, kids. I'll put them in the comments in the section below, of course, description, so you can see all that and go right there. JLJ Media is my network, of course, so hit the little subscribe button. It's down here somewhere. I always point the wrong spot, but it's red. It's red. It's red. It says subscribe in it. So do it. Make me happy. The Super Organizer, you can go to alotofhelp.com. Super Organizer is on Twitter. It's on Facebook. It's me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm James Lott Jr. on Instagram. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. And on TikTok, I have my long-running TikTok series, How to Get Super Organized Under a Minute. We're up to
Oh,
episode 93, I think. So check out my tips. They're under a minute about organizing on TikTok. I've made TikTok work for me, Lexi. I made it work for me. I don't do the dance. I don't do all the dances and stuff. I don't do all that, but I do talk about organizing. So check that out on there.
as well, and I don't do the dancing either. But maybe we're gonna have to start.
Yeah,
Maybe just one.
I can dance. I'm just like, I just don't do it for people on TikTok, but maybe I
Oh,
will.
well, I can't.
I can't. Oh my God, it's so funny. Everybody, please have compassion for each other, support each other, and get organized. We'll see you next time.
Man.